Apparently, there's a battle between millennials and Gen Z.
I did not know this. I was not aware.
It's hectic out there. Gen Z is vocal.
Really? What are they saying?
Where are millennials out here? I'm going to play one of the videos that I found.
I think one of the most evident things about this war with Gen Z and fucking millennials is that millennials don't know how old Gen Z actually is. The amount of millennials that I've seen been like, well, you don't get to talk about our parenting because you're still children. Maybe when you have children, you can speak on it. Like, the oldest person in Gen Z is like 27, 28. You know that, right? Like, majority of people I graduated with in 2018 have children. And the reason we're frustrated is because both of our kids are in the same generation. But Gen Z grew up on the fucking internet. We know the damage that it can do to a young person's brain. So we limit screen time and shit like that. We actually read with our children. Like, we are the parents of the kids who your kid is hitting in class. We are the teachers who are getting fucking verbally abused by your children because we asked them to do homework. Millennials have single-handedly dropped the IQ of our fucking country with how they raise their children. Also, whatever millennials about to stitch this, did you sit your kid in front of an iPad to film?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I have two more. I'll share it within the.
That was all right. I get it. Like, I get his point. Mm-hmm. He's right. Like, when I think about Gen Z, I don't think about like the older Gen Zs.
Yeah, I think about the younger ones.
Right. Like I think about my brother who's like 18. You know, so I'm like, and Gen Zs are probably like in their early 20s. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think about like because Gen Z starts in 1997.
Yeah.
And on, right? Yeah, because millennials are until 1996. So he has, listen, I'm gonna give it to him, okay? Like, not to say that all millennial parents are what he's saying, mm-hmm. right? Because I myself consider myself an exception of what he's saying. You know, like I see the importance of what he is saying. I always, you know.
And I must admit, before you continue that, our kids are definitely watching the screen while we record this podcast.
Yes, but we are the type of parents who are aware of what they're watching and how much screen time they're getting. So it's not like we're just
putting a Band-Aid on the situation.
We're not just oblivious to mm-hmm. that. Like, we're not just ignoring the fact that is a problem.
Yeah.
And that, you know, our kids need to be more involved in activities and they need to be playing and they need to be, you know, just present and not just watching a screen. Like, mm-hmm. we are very aware of that. And for us, education is like up there. Mm-hmm. And so I agree with what he's saying. And I mean, we've even spoken about the issues with parenting in previous podcasts and how we need to, as parents, to be more present and we need to be there to discipline our kids. Yeah. Like, we can't just be letting them, you know, just run wild and do whatever they want because we are their manual to life. And there's a lot of people who I guess are Gen Zs mm-hmm. who are now teachers who are struggling with what may be our millennial kids, right?
No, our alpha kids.
Well, the kids of the millennials.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can argue that he's wrong because I can't speak for all millennial parents. Mm-hmm. And I myself have found myself feeling a little frustrated with the mentality of some millennials and how lenient or okay they can be with certain behaviors that are not okay. Mm-hmm. So,
one thing I disagree though was that he said we are Gen Z. We basically grew up on the internet, and I don't know because when we
did though. Yeah.
We invented the fucking internet.
Yes, but when they were born, let's say 1997 and on, in the 2000s,
but what I'm saying is when we had our kid at 23, right? Mm-hmm. How old was Gen Z? The oldest Gen Z was, what, maybe 15? Right?
Yes, but he's saying that they grew up on the internet. So while we had a lot of our childhood without the internet, mm-hmm. we kind of really got a hold, or the internet got a hold of us really when we were teenagers.
I see.
They were little kids and the internet was already a thing.
True.
So I see what he's saying. we at least remember a period in time where the internet wasn't a thing. We had to go outside and play if we wanted to interact with anyone. We weren't chatting it up or, you know, on Facebook or MySpace or whatever.
Okay. So now I'm going to give you another perspective from a millennial.
If you enjoyed this video, you can watch the full episode of our podcast here.